when y'all let me use my political science degrees. Because, Nicki, why is you at the UN lying to those people? Now, I was just on the internet and found out that this woman, Nicki Minaj, was at the UN lying to those people. Now, according to her UN speech,
As you are all aware, there is a Megan Thee Stallion in court regarding the blogger Margot Grims and Megan Thee Stallion. When Megan Thee Stallion entered the courtroom the other day, people thought she had a baby bump. People believe Megan Thee Stallion is pregnant because of this video, but I think it was just the attire. Now, I am aware that Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson have a wonderful relationship, and since they reportedly moved in together, you never know, a kid might be on the way. I don't believe Megan Thee Stallion is pregnant, but it's said that people feel as though they are married and have a baby on the way. I simply think it was the attire because Megan appeared to be wearing it when she entered the courtroom today. All right, let's go on. Additionally, it appears that 24 hours after representing the Trump administration at the UN, Nicki Minaj has lost an additional 300,000 Twitter followers. This is understandable because Nicki Minaj apparently lost 600,000 Twitter followers while she was already endorsing Trump. This is because Trump made a post on the situation in Nigeria and Nicki Minaj was essentially endorsing him. Additionally, she reposted this White House video to use her song Bees in the Trap. As you can see, she's been doing a lot of things that give the impression that she supports Trump, and her fans are not amused by this. The fact that Nicki Minaj is consistently losing admirers indicates that her supporters are not pleased with her support of Trump. Additionally, people are beginning to believe that Nicki Minaj's deactivation of her Instagram account was a calculated move. Because as you can see, she didn't lose as many followers on Twitter as she did on Instagram because of her, support of Trump. Well, let's go on. After Selena Powell chose to be shady on Instagram, Summer Walker has some things to say about her. For those of you who are unaware, Selena Powell dated Lil Meech while he was broke. She was essentially acting as her sugar mommy by covering all of his expenses, including clothing, haircuts, and other items. All right, she was making this public on social media. Nevertheless, Selena posted, "When y'all are crying over the same man, but she can actually sing. LOL. Tried to tell y'all these bees are really fans of me." Summer Walker reposted this to her Instagram story. I don't know why Selena Powell chose to speak with Summer Walker and became enraged when Summer Walker essentially clapped back. In any case, Selena answers Summer Walker by saying, "Yes, I am. Now go back to the studio and quickly compose more music about the man I stole from you. I used to smash Meech with your songs playing in the background. I never once gave an F. Girly pop, I enjoy your music. Oh, and I had Meech, Rico Reckless, and London on the track before you. So just shut up and start singing." Oh no, how is she gonna speak to Summer Walker in this manner if she didn't mention Summer Walker beforehand? I just don't get that. Summer Walker shared this on her Instagram story on November 10th, and it shows Selena complimenting Summer Walker. She said, "Congratulations on your album, and I sincerely apologize if I ever made you feel bad about a loser. You know he's a loser, but I know his sister lives with you. I love you. Keep up the good music." I didn't know that Lil Me's sister was staying with Summer Walker. Summer Walker also seemed unconcerned with the entire circumstance. She just kept saying stream her album in the comments section.
when y'all let me use my political science degrees. Because, Nicki, why is you at the UN lying to those people? Now, I was just on the internet and found out that this woman, Nicki Minaj, was at the UN lying to those people. Now, according to her UN speech, she was making basically a heartfelt declaration as an ambassador for Nigeria, which is crazy because she's from Trinidad. But we'll get to that in a minute. But making this heartfelt declaration for Christians in Nigeria and claiming that there happens to be some sort of side. Now let's get to the facts of what's actually going on in Nigeria, because I think there's a little bit of stink in the water. Now this is according to Rolling Stone magazine, and I highly encourage you to read this article because it's very short, but it's very to the point. Now, Donald Trump and Nicki Minaj, as well as others, are attempting to state that there is Christian persecution / side going on in Nigeria. Now, there are two very prominent organizations who are reporting that this information is false. The first being the Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project, and the second, The Council on Foreign Relations. The Council on Foreign Relations and those two organizations have repeatedly stated that the notion that Christians are being disproportionately attacked is a dangerous reduction of the nature of the violence in Nigeria. Now, Nigeria is made up of about 45% Muslim and 55% Christians, which live in a more of a hegemonic society because they live together and they've lived together for hundreds of thousands of years, and they're okay with that. Now, according to the senior special assistant to the president of Nigeria, he stated that both religions actually live side by side together peacefully. What's actually occurring and what you're witnessing is along the sidelines and conflict that unfolds within the communities. And the same thing you can see right here in America. Sometimes conflicts just happen between neighbors. It doesn't actually mean anything about their religion. And the reason as to why this uptick of Christian persecution happens to do with Boko Haram. Now, mind you, Boko Haram is a Sunni Islamist organization, but they murder just as many Muslims as they do Christians because their ultimate goal is to basically overthrow the Nigerian government. And they're doing it in the name of religion, which has nothing to do with the billions and billions and billions of Christians and Muslims across the globe. These are just extreme extremists, but we see that everywhere. Boko Haram is not specifically targeting Christians. They're targeting anybody, any faction that gets in their way. And shout out to Tammy. If you guys don't know, this is Tammy Waka Flocka's ex-wife. She says it best in the comment section of the Shade Room. And you can pause to read it, but essentially she says, don't be blinded and misguided by this. The U.S. rarely ever intervenes, which is also true. Then she also stated that if it wasn't for a strategic or financial benefit, the U.S. wouldn't be doing anything. And Nikki, before you go back in there lying to those people, do a little bit more research. But unfortunately, I don't think you actually care.
Nas, like this tweet that I wrote most recently about being called and listening to God when he calls you to do something, whether or not anybody likes it. World may hate you for it. But if God is telling you to use your power, use your authority to shine a light on something, you do it. Black woman spoke at the United Nations today, and she did it very beautifully, eloquently.
No group should ever be persecuted for practicing their religion, like I recently stated on social media. And we don't have to share the same beliefs in order for us to respect each other. We're way beyond thinking or expecting or assuming for, the person sitting next to you to have the exact same beliefs. We're beyond that. That's ridiculous. But that shouldn't make one person feel less safe than anyone in any room.
She represented us so wonderfully, where not only did she read, but she also spoke from the top of her head, and everything that she said made such perfect sense. Nicki Minaj today was given a customized Barb pink sweater from the United Nations. And I don't know about y'all, but I literally was so proud when I seen her up. As I say, when we all pass away, God ain't gonna care about you being a Democrat or Republican, you being black or white, because all this flesh on us is gonna turn into dust. It's gonna be about that heart, about your spirit, and whether or not you stood up for what was right, regardless of who was wrong being there. Nicki Minaj today answered what her spirit told her to do, not what she knew everybody out here would condemn her for. And because of that, y'all better really watch out for her. Because when you answer what God tells you to do, despite what other people don't want you to do, that's when you standing in real power.